Good morning, students. Welcome back to English class. In previous video, we have seen that Michael Stone was tensed. He was anxious. He was under pressure because he was supposed to clear the height where the bar was set at a height which was 9 inches higher than his personal best. So, as he was tensed, as his palms were sweating, from nowhere he thought of, from the deepest of his soul, he thought of his mother. His mother always told him, his mother always used to tell him to take deep breath whenever he is tensed, anxious, or even scared. So he did it, and it was the time for his final jump, and he was ready to sprint down the track. Let us see what happens in the next part of the lesson. Welcome back to the video once again. Let me take the connectivity of the previous paragraph here. Paragraph 9, ninth paragraph. So he did, along with shaking the tension from his legs, he gently led his pole at his feet. He stretched out his arm and upper body. The light breeze that was once there was now gone. He could feel a trickle of cold sweat running down his back. He carefully picked up his pole. He felt his heart pounding. He was sure the crowd did too. The silence was deafening. When he heard the singing of some distant robins in flight, he knew it was his time to fly. So let us continue. 10th paragraph. As he began sprinting down the runway, something felt wonderfully different yet familiar. As he began sprinting down the runway, something felt wonderfully different yet familiar. Look at the meaning of sprinting down. Sprinting down means running at a very high speed, but for a short period. So, as he began sprinting down the runway, something felt wonderfully different yet familiar. The surface below him felt like the country road he used to dream about. The surface below him felt like the country road he used to dream about. The rocks and chunks of dirt, the visions of the golden wheat fields seemed to fill his thoughts. So, as he was ready to sprint down the runway, he recalled all his memories so that he could easily cross the goal. So the surface below him felt like the country road he used to dream about. The rocks and chunks of dirt, the visions of golden wheat fields seemed to fill his thoughts. When he took a deep breath, it happened. When he took a deep breath, it happened. It means when he took the deep breath, he was completely relaxed. There was no tension, there was no pressure, there was no anxiety with him now. So, when he took a deep breath, it happened. He began to fly. He began to fly. His takeoff was effortless. His takeoff was effortless. Michael Stone was now flying just like in his childhood dreams. Michael Stone was now flying just like in his childhood dreams. But this was real. Whatever he is flying, whatever he was flying today was real, not the dream. Everything was moving in slow motion. Everything was moving in slow motion. The air around him was the purest and freshest he had ever sensed. Michael was soaring with the majesty of an eagle. Next paragraph, children. It was either the eruption from the people in the stands or the thump of his landing that brought Michael back to earth. Yes, as he was flying in the air, when he landed, that time only he came back to his sense, we can say. It was either the eruption from the people in the stands or the thump of his landing that brought Michael back to earth. On his back, with that wonderful hot sun on his face, he could only imagine the smile on his mother's face and hear his dad's laughter. On his back, with that wonderful hot sun on his face, he could only imagine the smile on his mother's face and hear his dad's laughter. What he did not know was that his dad was hugging his wife and crying harder than Wilfred had ever seen before, shedding tears of pride. So, these all signs, these all symptoms, these all signs, they show that somehow something has happened that was really wonderful. Next paragraph now, children. Michael was immediately slammed by people hugging and congratulating him on the greatest accomplishment of his life. Yes, children, that something wonderful was nothing but Michael Stone had created. He had created the world record. So he was slammed by the people. Look at the meaning of swarmed. Swarmed with means surrounded by. So Michael was immediately surrounded by the people, hugging and congratulating him on the greatest accomplishment of his life. He later went on to clear 17 feet 6.5 inches that day, a national and international junior Olympics record. With all the media attention and heartfelt congratulations, with all media attention and heartfelt congratulations, Michael's life would never be the same. It wasn't just because he had won the National Junior Olympics and set a new world record. And it wasn't because he had just increased his personal best by 9.5 inches. It was simply because, concentrate children, I'll read it once again for you. It wasn't just because he had won the National Junior Olympics and set a new world record, and it wasn't because he had just increased his personal best by 9.5 inches. It was simply because Michael Stone was blind. Michael Stone was blind. So, this is how the lesson ends here, children. You have to concentrate here on this fact that Michael Stone was blind. Even though he was blind, he had set a new national and international record in his name, and he improved his personal best by 9.5 inches. So God will bless those people who really work hard, who have dedication, determination, and who set the goal to reach it, who will really work hard. Thank you for watching.